Am I alive? Hello? 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 Look at this. Look at my IRL setup. Look at this. See, I think here's... Alright, I'm gonna hold off what I gotta say. Right, Dodger has Saturday morning Dooger. So why don't I have late night, whatever day it is, with Crendooger, right? Right? That way I don't have to talk over like a League of Legends, you know, background screen or something. I can just put IKEA in the background and talk. Make my webcam slightly bigger. I think it's a great idea. And it allows me to stream under IRL. What a great idea. How you doing, everybody? How's everybody doing? Maybe I should move my chat over here. I'm not showing enough skin for IRL. Well, half my skin's just covered by hair. What up? What up, Dark Imp? How you doing? I haven't seen you around lately. Yeah, it's kind of like a pre-show. It's essentially like a more fun pre-show. Is what I like to think of it. Plus it allows for some IRL streaming. Dude, yesterday we hosted Gerard and he ended his stream as we rated him. I was like, really? Really?
Thanks.
Uber Turtle with the 21 months. Thank you, Uber Turtle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Swag.
What up? Can we have a new Tavern Brawl instead? It's actually uploading right now. It has 12 minutes remaining on the upload, so don't worry. It's coming. Any idea why last night? What do you mean? I don't know what that means. Do I need a cup of coffee for this? I mean, we're late night, so you can either have, if you're in Europe, you can have coffee. If you're in America, you can have beer. By the way, I'm drinking Hofbrau Original. Hofbrau Original. I like it. It's a good beer. Well, it's not like my favorite beer, but it's a beer I like. Or I guess if you're in Europe, you could have beer too, because Europeans do like beer. I haven't been able to watch it for like the past 8 months because of school. Dude, I know, right? We haven't been able to play games with Benji because of school for the past like 8 months. And now he's finally done. So we get to play games again. We're gonna play, oh my god, the Mario Tennis demo comes out today. Dude, we're gonna play so much Mario Tennis. I'm so pumped. I love Mario sports games. I actually was gonna buy, oh, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna buy that DS Mario Sports game. Mario Sports 3 Superstars? That's what it is? Mario Superstars. Is this it? Why is it so hard to find it? Amazon Choice, but it has like... Oh, here it is. Plenty of breadth, but lacking in depth. Very good. You know where last night's stream VOD went? I don't know, hold on. I mean, I don't check my stream VODs. Let's play some old RTS. Rap with the boys with... Oh, whoa. It is gone. What the shit? I don't know. I don't look at my VODs. Maybe Twitch just broke or some shit. I don't know. My raft one from earlier is there. So, I mean, it did that. And then the RTS one I did's up, so it did that. It's gotten every day since. I don't know. I don't know, man. What are you gonna do? Galabrithian with 16 months. Oh, hey, 222. Thanks, Galabrithian. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Swag. Thank you for 16 months. I don't know. I can ask Pluto about it. He probably won't know anything. Dark Imp with the 19 months. Didn't I do this already? Probably. Twitch is broken, apparently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Swag. How are your teeth doing, Dark Imp? I know you had, like, mouth stuff, teeth surgery? Or is that a while back now? Are you, like, fully recovered from that? Have I seen the new Bruiser items? No, but I have seen that they're changing ARAM. I'm actually pretty excited for the ARAM changes. I might play a lot of ARAM. That might be my thing. I might just, like, take a week off of ranked or something and do ARAMs if it keeps tilting me hard. What are they changing in ARAM? They are... Hold on, let me find it. Let me find it. Big changes coming to League's ARAM. Okay, so here's what they're doing. They are... Champion randomization will be helped by the first of the changes, which puts any champion re-rolled into a bench of sorts. Players can view those re-rolled champions and pick them instead of the ones they currently have. So, if everybody re-rolls, right, you don't have to be like, hey, I'm re-rolling, anyone want? Because if you re-roll, that champion goes into a pool, and then you can pick that champion for yourself. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Then, the free-to-play pool in the mode will be expanded to include champions from the 3 latest free-to-play rotations, bringing the grand total of champions up to 42. Pike will also be made free in ARAM. Yeah. Players will find it easier to get an S in ARAM. Early game changes. There are now base gates that will open up at 15 seconds into the game, which will lead to less fighting at the very start of the match. Another change is that instead of just getting level 3 when you start the game, you'll have the experience that warrants level 3 before you would have no experience, and it was a tough climb to get to level 4. Time difference between starting the game and getting level 4 will be greatly reduced, and surrender times have been moved up a few minutes to allow for earlier surrenders. What music's this? This is Dungeon of the Endless soundtrack. One of my favorite soundtracks. Boop, bop, bop. It's still not great. That sucks. I know all about tooth pain. That's what kept me out of BlizzCon. I finished my first book yesterday and I'm already pre-writing on my second. I think I have a problem. Dude, I wish I had that problem. I wish I had that problem. That'd be great. Can't stay, but I dropped by to say hi. Hey, thanks, Geth Overlord. Dude, this is what it's like to be a Dodger. This is like doing a Dodger thing. A Dodger thing. You just sit here and talk. This is great. No wonder she does this. This is easy. Oh yeah, E3's coming up. Me, Benji, and Gmart are gonna do an E3 thing again. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm just excited to play games with Benji now that he's out of school for the summer. A Moist Fruit just subscribed. Thank you, A Moist Fruit. Swag. Thank you, A Moist Fruit. Oh god. Ugh. Now you just need to steal a baby. Yeah, it's already time for E3 again. People apparently liked when I reviewed stuff yesterday. Sinvicta wanted me to review his dog. Boogar wanted reviews. Let's see. Games fall short on excitement and action. These games feel more like mini games, not a full Nintendo sports game. Some people say this is great. Some people say it's just 5 mini games. Has anyone played Mario Sports Superstars? Do they like it? Boom bum bum boom bum boom bum 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 boom bum bum. Is your coverage of E3 going to consist of Gmart buying all the hype and Benji hating and everything for not being Pokemon? It's going to consist of Gmart buying all the hype, Benji hating everything just because he's a perfectionist in what he likes, and he's very, like... he has a very small... a very small category of things he actually enjoys. He likes Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Lord of the Rings, and, yeah. And then I tend to be in the middle. I'm like, that might be good. That looks bad. And then I kind of just play devil's advocate a bit. I hope the Switch Pokemon game comes out. That'd be cool. Let's see. My nephew owns it. Does he like it? Things I want from E3. My goddamn Fire Emblem game for Switch they announced a year ago. Info about Pokemon RPG and some goddamn Animal Crossing. I want Animal Crossing. I want my Animal Crossing. That's all I want. I just want Switch Animal Crossing. I'll even take a new 3DS Animal Crossing at this point. I don't care. I just want a new Animal Crossing that isn't a mobile game. That beer looks too big? Kidding me? This is the beer glass I got from Medieval Times. It used to say, like, Medieval Times right here, but apparently they printed it on or something really shitty, so it, like, washed off, and now it's just a beer glass.
Thanks.
Flying Otter with the subscription. Thank you, Flying Otter, for subscribing. Swag. Thanks, Flying Otter. Thoughts on COD and Battlefield? It's gonna be the same. I guess Call of Duty might be interesting because of the Battle Royale stuff in it. So I'll try that out because I'm willing to try everything once. But like Battlefield, I don't know. Just looked like another Battlefield game. So like the last 2 Battlefield games have just been like, I enjoyed it, and 2 days later I'm done playing it. You know what I mean? Am I writing anything at the moment? I've kind of paused on the writing. My gallbladder stuff kind of stopped me. But I'm hoping to start up again soon. Man, nobody told you how much... nobody tells you how much time it actually takes to recover from surgery. Like, I still get soreness in my surgical areas. And then... Boom, boom. And then, I still get, like... I don't know, it's just tender. Apparently they say it takes 6 months to a year to actually recover. They don't tell you that. It takes, like, you know, a month or 2 to actually go back to doing what you do. But, like... My digestive system's definitely taking its time getting used to everything. Like even when I was doing yoga, I was just trying yoga. I was like, this is helping my. It actually helped my digestion a bit. And then I like strained my entire abdominal wall, and it took like 4 days to get better. And I think it's just because my abdomen's, you know, obviously it's sore from the surgery. But it got better. And then, like I still get like soreness. Like today I woke up and it was just sore right in like my belly button right next to my belly button. Like I pulled it while I was sleeping or something, or strained it. And I didn't even know what I did. It's just hurt all day. And then I had my like thing where I was eating normally, and then Easter hit, and then I got nauseous, really bad nausea, and then after that I was kind of queasy for a week, and I was like, ugh. And then I was like, all right, I'm good again. And I started eating fatty stuff, and then the other week I had we had Cheesecake Factory, and we had Mother's Day where we grilled a bunch of meat and ate it all, and then I had Chipotle the next day, and like for the last week since then, my body's like, hey man, remember we don't have a gallbladder? And I was like, ah, shit, dude. I forgot about that. And so it's just been still wonky. So it's it just takes time. It takes a lot of like eating correctly. I know what I can eat like smaller meals. The big thing that did it was such big meal. You know those meals you eat where you're like, oh. Like where you're so full you can just fall asleep? I can't do that anymore. Like I had those 2 days in a row, which was the Cheesecake Factory, and then the next day, which was Mother's Day, and that's what like right after that's when all this kicked in. So it's fun. But I mean, I'll take that over gallstones, I guess. I just have to adapt to it. I just gotta eat better. That's what it boils down to. It's usually like 3 months. I had a broken nose surgery, and for that it took me almost 2 months to do anything 100% as I used to. That's the thing, right? Everybody's like, oh yeah, gallbladder, it's easy. And then they don't tell you like, oh yeah, like after 3 weeks you can go do stuff, 6 weeks you can start lifting shit. And you're like, okay. But then they don't tell you like, oh yeah, and after that it kind of lingers on. You'll get some soreness. It's not 100% yet. That takes like a year. Your digestion has to realize there's no gallbladder there. Your bile production has to like regular, I can't even say the word. Like, just has to normalize itself, and your liver has to be like, oh yeah, hey, we don't have a gallbladder. And then, you know. So everywhere I look, they're like, yeah, mine took like a year to get normal again. So it's just, yeah. Sam left his stream on again. Jesus. Classic Sam. I haven't had any organ surgery, but I assume it's more complicated. Yeah. I mean, you're essentially removing, like, you don't need your gallbladder, but it obviously helps. Like, you can't, you know, for example, Cheesecake Factory, I had like 3 slices of flatbread, which is like essentially eating pizza, and then a big ass pasta thing and bread, and then I had cheesecake later on. And then the next day I had like 2 brats, and a chicken kebab and cake and other stuff. And this is all like in a span of a few hours. So like I wasn't giving my body enough time to truly digest. Like normally your gallbladder's like, yo, I got the bile, and it's like, and it squirts the bile in to help digest it. But I don't got that anymore, so your colon and stomach and shit are just like, oh god, help me. And then it's just like, I give up. And then, you know, you got a few weeks of pain. Yeah, it's like the appendix. You don't need it, but it still has like some purposes. They thought the appendix had like no uses, but like apparently it does have some uses. But, you know, it's not like a vital organ or anything. I'm just thankful I didn't get like an infection or anything with my surgery, though. Obviously. I didn't get like a hernia or anything either, so that's nice. Because they were like, sometimes people get hernias, and I'm like, ugh. We playing League, Coach? Yeah, we can play Leagues Invicta. I need a break from ranked mode anyway. We can play in a bit. Tell me about it. I can't eat no more overly greasy food. It's like before I end up having severe pains through the ultra effect. Dude. Oh my god. When I had... so I've been getting this pain ever since those giant meals, right? And then I was like, you know what? Maybe it's a muscle, right? I was like, maybe it's a muscle. It kind of feels like a muscle. So I'm going to try... I'm going to eat Chick-fil-A. And I had Chick-fil-A. And it just like tasted greasy. And then the fries. And then... oh my god. That was the worst decision. That was the worst decision. So it was not a muscle. Hey Crendooger, my brother recently passed away 2 months ago. He loved your content since Kata. You always cheered him up until he turned 20 and passed. Keep doing what you're doing. Always cheer me up and brighten my mood. You meant a lot to him. Shit, dude. I'm glad I can brighten up your mood. And I'm glad your brother enjoyed my stuff. That's kind of crazy, dude. But sorry about that, but Mamma Mia. I'm bad at emotional things, can you tell? But I'm glad I could do that just by making my dumb World of Warcraft videos. You don't need a gallbladder to survive, but life quality goes significantly down because you'll have really bad fat absorption. Of course, you got no choice if wild gallstone appears. Yeah. Exactly. That's kind of what happened. So pretty much, I have to not eat as bad, is what it boils down to. Which, I mean, that's not a bad thing. It makes me eat healthy at that point. Like, you feel better when you eat healthy. And it makes you want to cook at home more, not eat out as much. So most of the time, all these problems occur when I'm eating out. And overall, it'll help you eat. It'll be better for your just entire health in general. Bum, 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 bum. I'm bad at them too, don't worry, but you showed him WoW and he met all his amazing friends on that game. Hell yeah, dude. I was actually going to do a thing where I played all my old WoW videos and kind of reacted to them. Crendooger reacts to old videos, because everybody makes those things where you like react to old videos, right? But a lot of people just make old video reactions to just them in a video. Like, at least my videos reacting to them, it's like, that shit's like 9 years old at this point. And, you know, they're kind of like mini movies, essentially. So, I think it'd be fun to do that. I don't think a lot of people have even seen my old videos, too. Or at least, not all of them. So, you don't upload stream highlights anymore? Yeah, I do. Just every once in a while. Crendooger reacts to WoW leveling episode 1. Pretty sure I've seen everything WoW you've ever done. It's a lot of videos. Did you do those videos when the Fine Bros were attempting to sue React videos? No, I didn't do that. The music, if you want the music, that's the music. Dungeon of the Endless soundtrack. Did I delete my VOD of LoL yesterday? No, it just was gone. Somebody was like, hey, Crendooger, what happened to the old VOD? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't look at my videos. Unless I'm gonna make a highlight of it. Or upload the VOD. But, I don't know, Twitch is weird. Hard to make stream highlights when all the highlights for the past month's been League, yeah. That is part of it. I'm excited to play some more, you know, variety. A little more variety. Would I ever eat a Happy Meal on stream again? Without a gallbladder? No. With a gallbladder? No, I still wouldn't do it. Will I ever reach Legion leveling? Probably not. It'll probably be like 20 years. I saw someone today wearing a Cat Gang hoodie in public. Shit, dude. That'd be weird. That is actually kind of weird when you see somebody wearing a shirt from someone you like. That'd be weird for me, because I'd be like, oh shit, dude, they probably know who I am. Boom, 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 boom. On the bright side, beer does not affect my digestion. I have no problems with beer. It doesn't give me pain. Doesn't give me anything. Hallelujah. Do I have my gallbladder in a jar? I wish I did. My my grandma and my aunt both don't have their gallbladders. So I think that's where I got it from. I think that's where I got my gallstone from. My grandma got her gallbladder out in the 70s, and they had to like cut her open, like legit, like cut you open to get it out. She was like in the hospital for a week. So that was like, let's say, it was like 40 years ago or something. She's like 93 now. She's old. And she's still going. And then my aunt's like in her, she's like late 50s or early 60s or something, and she doesn't have her gallbladder. And they have digestion issues. I think all my digestion problems just come from that side of the family. But I mean, they're still going, so that's good. Dude, I actually have like most of my grandparents alive. But that grandma, my grandpa's still alive. He's like 92. And my other grandma, she's like 91. They're like all in their early 90s. The only one dead is my one grandpa, and he died like when I was in high school, so like 15 years ago. It was right when I started high school, like 14 or 15 years ago. I don't remember at this point. It was right when WoW came out. I remember that. And he was like 78, so he was already getting older too. So I don't know. I like my genes. I'm alright with that. Hey man, I'll take some gallbladder issues over like some other genetic things people get. It's fine with me. We buried my grandma today. Shit, dude. That sucks. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully me being dumb on the internet helps you out. I have heart problems later in life because I think my dad or mom's side of the family had a history of heart problems. My mom actually had heart surgery. She had a mitral valve thingy, but she had that like since she was like 15 or something, so she had to get it done at some point. She just didn't get it done until she was in her 50s. And then that was some crazy shit. That was like 8 years ago? It's like when I started YouTube, I think. Maybe even like 10 years ago. Boom, boom, banana, boom, boom. Boom, boom, banana, boom, boom, banana, boom, boom. I was told that the Tooth Fairy charged for damaged teeth and didn't pay you. You got scammed, dude. You got scammed. So yeah. Health issues. That's what happens when you get old. Like, I'm not even that old. That's the thing. I feel like I'm old, but like I'm not even 30 yet. But I have like all the digestive issues my 60-year-old aunt has and my like 90-year-old grandma. Then again, my grandma's always had digestion issues too. My dad was like, when I met your mom, your grandma was there and she always had stomach problems, so she really looked sad and like depressed and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's probably where I got that from too. Have you heard about Will Smith is gonna do the song for the Soccer World Cup in Russia? Wait, is the World Cup in Russia? I didn't know that. World Cup, Russia. Oh, wow, it is. June 14th. I didn't know that. America's not even in the World Cup. That's dumb. How's America not in it, but like Croatia is? It just seems weird. As an American. I don't know. Yeah, how do we have like how's the US team so bad? You would think we'd have some people that knew how to play soccer well. You don't feel that much older between 25 and 35. That comes around the 40s again. Alright, at least I got some time. I'll take it. I'm gonna need a new heart in 10-ish years because I was born with a bad one, so that's fun. Shit, dude. I think that's the worst, is when you know you have to get something down the line. Where it's like, yeah, you're gonna have to get a new heart soon. Like, oh. Cool. Maybe they'll have like better, more advanced medical stuff by then and it won't be as bad. So that could be good. They lost to a team that was already eliminated. Damn it, America. As a Mexican myself, I feel disappointed we didn't help the US get qualified since y'all helped us in the last one. Oh yeah, that was right. I still like watching the World Cup. I don't even like soccer or football, but I like watching the World Cup. It's kind of like the Olympics in a way. How did you manage to miss mentioning the Hockey World Cup in Cox and Crendooger? I didn't even know there was a Hockey World Cup going on, to be honest. That's why I didn't mention it. I've known this since I was 18 and I'm 33 now. God damn. Doesn't that like weigh you down a bit? Like having that linger in the back of your head? As someone with a lot of anxiety, that would probably affect my anxiety in some way. I know it did with my gallbladder, so I was like, I know at some point I'm gonna have to get my gallbladder out. Like the gallstone, every once in a while, you would know it's like doing its thing. You know what I mean? It would probably be like, ugh. You would feel it. So you're like, I gotta get this thing out of my gallbladder. At some point, but I just kind of delayed it as long as I could. Then I was like, oh my god, I gotta get it out. Patrick Kane MVP. Blackhawks sucked this year, man. That sucked. It showed how much Corey Crawford carried him. Yeah, anxiety will put you in an early grave. That is very true. But that's why people drink beer. There's a study there, like, did you know, guys, that drinking alcohol, even just 1 or 2 drinks a day, will take 1 year off your life? And I was like, dude, I'll take that. I'll take like a few hours of stress relief, because that stress relief brought on by alcohol is going to probably save you like 5 to 10 years. So essentially, you're saving yourself like 4 to 9 years. That's why people all the time are like, can you believe that guy died? He didn't drink. He didn't smoke. He didn't do anything. It's like, yeah, I can. He's probably stressed out. That's all I'm saying. Citro at the 27 months. Hail Hydra. Thank you, Citro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 7. Sword. Thank you, Citro. Whew. 27 months. That's what I'm saying. Like, look, there's like old people. There's like that 100-year-old lady. They're like, what's your secret? She's like, I drink beer every day. Like, vast majority of it's just genetics. There's my great aunt lived to be like 95, and she chain smoked. She smoked like non-stop, like since she was 20. Like, and she never had lung problems. She ended up dying of like dementia or something. It wasn't even lung problems. So I mean, You know, it's one of those things. And they're like, this guy, you know, this guy never drank or smoked or did anything, and they got like a heart attack. And it's like, well, all right. Have you ever had people tell you if you did a certain thing, you wouldn't live as long? Every time someone says that to me, I just say I'm not trying to live a long life, just a good life. I guess you could say that about sitting at the computer all the time. But I don't think they've ever said you won't live long from sitting at the computer. It's more like, you know, like, your eyes are gonna go bad if you look at that computer, but I don't need glasses. My eyesight's fine. I get headaches sometimes if I sit at the computer too long, but like, you know, I don't sit here all day. I go up, I get up, I walk around. What are you gonna do? I've been at home for the past 6 months due to anxiety. I got exams in an hour. Anxiety sucks. It does suck. Anxiety sucks a lot. That's one of those things where some people I don't think have anxiety. Well, everybody gets anxiety, but they don't have it as bad, where it's like, man, I got anxious because I don't know. I think a lot of extroverted people have that. Like Jesse. Jesse's a good one, for example. He'd be like, oh man, I'm anxious because I'm going on a flight. And I'm like, I don't think me and you have the same anxiety levels of traveling. He's just like, yeah, you know, you travel, it's a fun adventure. And I'm like, no. Like, let me tell you about the anxiety I get. I have anxiety from leaving the norm. All right, I'm very much a hobbit. I like my environment. You know, I like my hobbit hole. I don't like straying from my hobbit hole. I enjoy, you know, I still like being around people. I enjoy socializing, but as long as it's in like a hobbit controlled environment, where I can predict what's going to happen. There's like a level of control there. I like control because that means predictability. I'm not a hermit though, because I can go to places like around me and I don't mind it. I don't even mind going to LA because I've been to LA so much that it's like a second home to me, right? Because I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to get on the plane. The same plane things are going to happen. I'm going to get to LA. I'm going to wait, and then somebody's going to pick me up that I know. It could be Dodger, could be Jesse, could be Kristen, could be whoever. Or I'll just take an Uber wherever. I know like Jesse's apartment well. I'm like, all right, I know this place. I know the places around here. It's very much like I know these things, and so that's something I can control, and it's familiar. Yeah, it's familiar. And so I'm like, okay. But if it's like, hey, you're going to Nevada, I'd be like, no. Because already I'm like, I don't know anything there, right? It's just a familiarity thing. So yeah, it's very much a comfortable, it's like a level of comfortability. Is that even a word? And then the biggest things that cause anxiety when traveling is just, one is leaving the computer, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to stream. I'm not gonna be able to do but I guess I can stream IRL at this point, so I'm like, whatever. And it's like having to get out of your routine. That's one of the things. The other is you gotta fly in a plane. I don't even mind flying that much, because it's like, you know, once I'm in the airport, I don't have that much anxiety. I'm like, I'm here and whatever. But I think it's the fact that before you get to the airport, you always have that thing in the back of your head, like, I could cancel this. I could cancel this right now and not go. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when people make plans, like, I'm going to go out with my friends tonight. And then you're like, you know, I could just stay home. I don't have to go out with my friends. I could just stay home and not do that. But once you actually go out, then you're like, well, I'm here. I might as well, you know, make do with what I got. So yeah, I have more stress about getting ready to travel. And then getting enough sleep, that's another big one. I get a lot of anxiety over sleep. Like, sleeping is one of my biggest anxiety-induced things that I get, which is kind of weird. Well, maybe it's not that weird, because, I mean, everybody needs to sleep. But, like, I always worry, I'm like, I'm not going to get enough sleep. I'm going to be tired. I'm not going to fall asleep. You know, it's going to make me... So, like, that alone makes you not sleep. So it's a vicious cycle of that. Especially when I was in England. That's one of my biggest things that make me anxious about traveling overseas. England wasn't too bad, but it was still like, oh my god, what if I can't fall asleep? What if I hit 30 hours and I can't fall asleep? What if this happens? What if... And your mind just races. And then I'm like, I'm not going to be able to sleep. I'm going to die of sleep deprivation. So it's one of those things. But, I mean, now I can just buy ZQuil or something. I don't know. So that'll usually help. That, anything just helps you fall asleep or takes the edge off a bit. And then, I don't know. Sleep anxiety is, like, probably the worst thing. I hate sleep anxiety. I don't know, what else do I get anxious about? Health. I talked about this a bit before, but like, huge hypochondriac. It used to be really bad. Now it's just kind of bad. There was a point in high school where I legit, like, convinced myself, 100%. I think I was like 15 or 16 that I had cancer like 7 times. I legit thought 7 times that and then I would always go to the doctor and they're like, nope, you're just a hypochondriac. And I was like, okay. It was so bad that one time I thought I had it and I worried myself to like be sick. It's kind of like that Office episode where I forget who it was. He like shows up for what do you call it? Is it Michael? Somebody shows up at the office and they're like, hey, I'm feeling great. And they're like, you look sick today. And he's like, I don't know, I feel okay. And then they're like, no, you look pretty sick. You like, oh. And then he's like, yeah, I guess I am kind of sick. And someone's like, oh, you look awful. And he's like, yeah, I'm feeling really bad. And they just like will him into being sick. It's kind of like that, where I worried myself into being sick because I was so anxious in my head. So yeah, it's gotten better since then. Obviously, I get sleep anxiety pretty bad sometimes. It's like you lay there for an hour and then you start to think, what if I can't sleep? And then you can't because you're thinking of it and it's a vicious cycle. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it is. Bam, bam, boom, bam, bam, boom. Yeah, I think sleep anxiety is one of the worst because you need sleep. Fun fact, I actually had to learn about that when I was studying to be a psychiatrist. You hypochondriacs are an interesting study. I guess it's because in my mind, the way I would do it is I would just visualize the worst. I guess it's just visualizing the worst scenario possible, which in a way carries over into all types of anxiety. A lot of types of anxiety are just envisioning the worst scenario possible. Like, I don't want to fly in a plane, right? I mean, I don't care about flying on a plane, but like people that do care about flying on a plane, most of them envision it crashing, right? You envision getting on the plane taking off, and the plane crashing, and you're dead. So you're like, I don't want to go on the plane. With sleep anxiety, right, you envision yourself not sleeping, becoming sleep deprived, and like dying. With hypochondria, you're like, I have a small pain here, it's probably cancer, I'm gonna die, right? Like, all of it just stems into a very traumatic mindset that just plays itself over and over. It just loops over and over in your head. And so you either have to talk yourself out of it, take your mind off it, which, you know, people do by either distracting themselves with things like video games. Sam. Drinking. You know, drugs. You know, people do anything. Anything just takes your mind off it. It's just one of those things. It boils down to all that. It's just your mind being on like hyperdrive. Hyperdrive? Is that even a word? I don't know. I just made it up. Yeah, you can watch YouTube videos, just things that'll distract you from what's going on. And so, have I tried mindfulness meditation? I have not. I did try meditating before, and it did help after a while. But then I stopped. Boom, I can start with, what if I don't get this assignment literally with no marks done, then ends up I fail out of school, get a horrible job, go bank. Yeah, it's a thing of spiraling out of control, and usually it's not realistic. That's what they tell you most of the times in a lot of the psychiatrist like therapy sessions or books. I remember because I bought a book that was like, so you have anxiety. And I would read it and I'd be like, okay, I have anxiety. And it would be like, what do you think's gonna happen when you want to fly? This was like the first time I went to BlizzCon because I was freaked out because I was like, I've never been on a plane. I remember one time I had my job interview and they were like, who here has never been on a plane? And then I raised my hand. I was like, me, and then nobody else did. And he was like, oh, come on, like, you've been on a plane, right? Everybody has. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, whatever. Now I wouldn't do that. I don't even raise my hand. I'd be like, whatever, I don't care. But, is that fear of, like, the plane's gonna crash, right? The plane is gonna crash. I'm gonna die. Something bad's gonna happen. I'm gonna get lost. Whatever it was. But then you start realizing, like, there's millions of people traveling every day, right? There's thousands of planes taking off. You know, there's like a 0.00001% chance something bad's gonna happen. Like that woman whose plane window cracked and she like flew out of it or whatever. Right? They're like, that's the first plane accident in 10 years. And you're like, see, I'm gonna be fine. But then, if you let your mind keep going, you're like, but what if that 0.0001% is me? You're essentially winning the lottery, but the negative lottery, right? Instead of winning $10 million, you win death. So yeah. While I don't experience sleep anxiety, I do have issues sleeping. I could be dead tired, but as soon as I lay down, my brain goes into hyper mode. I get that sometimes. It just depends. I haven't really had it much lately. It depends if you're going to sleep at the same time every night, too. I notice if I try to sleep at a separate time, then it's harder to fall asleep. Or if I'm really tired, like I only get like 3-4 hours of sleep, I can fall asleep a little bit earlier, like, I don't know, 3 a.m. instead of 6 a.m. or something like that. But, for the most part, it needs to be around that same time. Golf1616 just subscribed. Thank you, Golf, for the Twitch Prime. Swag. Oh shit, you rolled a 20. You get a bonus high five. Swag. Thanks, Golf. Congrats on the 20. Look at that, it's your lucky day. Happy Narwhal, 100 bits. Hey Crendooger, I was doing a quick run in gym class and I guess I was playing Blood Bowl because I rolled a 1 and tore my ACL. Shit, dude. It's like you're playing in the NFL. Everybody tears their ACL. Mamma mia. Did you really tear your ACL? That's kind of shitty. But yeah, that's what it boils down. It's just irrationally thinking about things. And when you start to, I think a lot of therapy just makes you think about things rationally. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? And like, what do you realistically think's gonna happen? And then you're like, well, I'll probably go to the airport, I'll get on the plane, it'll fly, and I'll land, and I'll get off, and it'll be okay. And you're like, yeah. And then you're like, yeah, probably. So it's just one of those things where you talk to yourself in a more realistic manner. And I guess that's just most types of mental diseases, unless it's like an actual chemical issue with your brain and like the amount of whatever you're getting, like dopamine or whatever, like you're not getting enough or something. That whole anxiety spiral thing, I have that every day lately because I've begun to enter bankrupt territory with certain things, and it takes exactly what you're saying. That notion of just going, wait, that's a worst case scenario, be realistic. Yeah. You kind of take it where you're like, all right, I might go bankrupt. What's going to happen? Then you're like, I'm going to run out of money. I'm going to go into debt. I'm going to lose all my money. Everyone's going to come after me. Debt collectors are going to come after me. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my car. I'm going to end up living on the street. I'm going to get in a fight with a homeless man, and he's going to win. And then I'm going to be, laying there beating up homeless on the street. And And then you're like, wait, that's probably not gonna happen. That's why you gotta pump up, you gotta get buff so you can beat that homeless man, take his stuff, right? Win the homeless war, and then you'll be on the rise. I don't know what I'm saying. Happy Narwhal with the 5 bits. Thank you for the 5 bits. Panic attacks are the worst. Oh my god, that reminds me. So, I don't think I had a full-blown panic attack, but I think I had something similar to a panic attack. Back in like October, right? It's kind of funny because everyone's like, Crendooger is the most chill person I've ever seen. Back in October, I had high blood pressure, and I remember my doctor was like, all right, so what you should do is get one of those blood pressure machines and just check your blood pressure. So I was like, okay. I remember I would check it, and I'd be like, okay. And then I checked it, and I'd be like, it's kind of high. And I checked it in the grocery store, and it was high again. And for some reason, that like hypochondriac it triggered me, and I was like, and I could feel, I didn't even feel like I was having a panic attack, but I felt like more aware of I don't know how to put this. I could feel my heartbeat, right? You know what that, it's like I could feel my heart beating, and I could feel it like beating in my hand. And I just had this constant like kind of anxious feeling about it. But I didn't feel like, you know, some people like, I'm having a panic attack, can't breathe. It wasn't like that. It was just kind of like a heightened awareness. And it lasted like 2 or 3 weeks. And then my doctor was like, I think you just need to go walk every day. Like, just go walk 30 minutes a day. And I started walking 30 minutes a day. And then that went away. My blood pressure went down, and I was fine. And I was like, oh, okay. But, it's like, shit, dude. It was he was like, I think you had a panic attack. And I was like, I didn't think a panic attack would just be me, like, sensing my pulse and heartbeat. I don't know. It was weird. I had a dumb panic attack today. It was self-brought on. I was playing WoW in a dungeon. I had top DPS. Our tank made a joke. Keep it up. You're carrying us. And my DPS wavered for a minute. For whatever reason, I had a social anxiety attack. And just failing my party. Shit, dude. I mean, I used to have social anxiety before I did YouTube stuff. You can go watch my old Crendooger IRL videos, and I'm like, hello! It's me, Crendooger. Like, I wasn't social at all. But, you know, I've changed that with Trial by Fire by going to conventions, meeting people, doing Twitch, doing YouTube, doing whatever. And just growing up in general. I'm a goof like Jesse, just to hide how insecure I am about myself, but it's okay. I mean, I think a lot of people do that. I think Jesse even does that. I think Jesse has some deep insecurities about himself, and that's part of the reason he is, like, so goofy like he is. You know? Everybody has their own thing. Like, nobody's perfect. That's the thing. Nobody is, like, a perfect, like, I'm the happy as I can be. Whenever I see somebody, alright? Whenever I see somebody that's like, I'm so happy, my life's perfect, I'm like, that person, they gotta be, like, crazy. Those are the crazy people. We talked about this on Cox and Crendooger that one time. I was like, that dude sitting out in his farm talking to his, like, watermelons and shit with his pet ferret. That guy's, you know, he's crazy, but he's not, like, you know, he's not gonna hurt anybody. He's just talking to his watermelons in his backyard. He's like, Jerry, talk to me, right? You know, he's just, like, crazy. But then there's, like, the people like, how you doing, neighbor? I'm just, I'm always happy. Like, that's the person who's gonna, like... I like how the music just changed. I don't even know what this is. That's the person who's gonna, like, kill somebody. I wouldn't trust that person at all. If there's a person who's like, I'm always happy, I don't trust him. Alright, there we go. Let me warp back. That's all I'm saying. Number one way to repress insecurities is self-deprecative humor and sell it yourself. No one realizes you actually think that way about yourself. I don't know. I mean, I do that, but I think self-deprecating humor is funny because it shows yourself. You're willing to like self-analyze yourself and kind of state observations. A lot of humor is just stating observations in overdramatic ways. It's more that you feel like dying when having a panic attack. You start to breathe very heavily, like your heart is about to stop. You're on the brink of calling an ambulance. There's no one around to calm you down. There's probably a scale of panic attacks. I probably had a very light panic attack, I think. I don't play ranked games because I'm afraid of letting people down. Social anxiety. Yeah, it's like anything. I mean, there's various levels. It's all on a spectrum. I mean, I had social anxiety, but it's gotten better. It's gotten a lot better. But I never had that problem with like ranked games. I guess because I'm a competitive person too.
Thanks.
Clo Kodax with the Twitch Prime. Thank you, Clo Kodax with the Twitch Prime. Sword. Jason Ox, 33 bits. Dark Lord Treesus with the 1 bit. Thank you for the 1 bit. I've been so engaged in this. I've been running into a wall in 10 minutes in a while. It's I mean, there's various forms of anxiety. It's just a lot of people break it down by being like, oh, I have social anxiety, when really they might have other forms of anxiety. It just carries over into their social life. You know what I mean? I know one thing I do. I do this when I play League of Legends, which is part of the reason I don't want to play LoL as much. Like, I need to limit my rank games. I need at least like a maximum of 3 rank games, because I legit what I'll do is, you can probably see us in my VODs or something, I grind my teeth or I clench my teeth to the point where it's like I don't know that I'm doing it, but I know I do it because my dentist has told me. I grind my teeth when I sleep. And it's just like you can feel it. You can feel the, like, in your temples almost, like your teeth just hitting that temple, like, point. You know what I mean? So it'll be points where I'll even, like, stop breathing. I think I do that too, where I'm like, so because I'll sense I'll do something in the game and I'll be like, and I like let out air, like I've been holding my breath. And so a lot of times after playing League of Legends, I'll just get a headache, or I'll get like neck strain, and then I'm like, why do I play this game? Yeah, so it gives me headaches. I clench my jaw like it's bad. I used to grind my teeth when I was little. I guess it's loud enough to wake my parents up. Oh my god. A friend of mine had her jaw locked because of grinding teeth. Jesus. My dentist gave me a mouth guard though, so I should probably wear that. Chew gum so you don't ruin your... That's true. I guess chewing gum would help if I'm playing something like League, so it would fight that off. Are those the moments in League where you just straight up lift up in your chair a bit? I think I've noticed before, but never made any notion of it. Probably. There's a lot of times because Toaster Woman will notice it. Because she'll be like, are you okay? And I'm like, what? She'll be like, you're just like a horse or some shit. Like, I remember I was like playing, I woke up and I was playing a game off stream and I was just like Karthus mid and I was like, she's like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. But it's like, I was like, oh my god, I'm so tense right now. Like, it's not good. I'm just playing League of Legends. Like, that wouldn't happen in an ARAM or anything. It's only ranked. Ranked just messes you up, dude. I got some heartburn pills every other day. If I don't take them, I get heartburn from drinking too much water or some shit. Dude, I get heartburn a lot. I have GERD. It's not bad, but I have, like... I've burped up acid. I'll get GERD type things if I eat really, really badly for a few days in a row, or spicy foods. Certain foods will do it. There was a point like 2 years ago I had really bad heartburn. Like it was like getting pain in my chest. And I went to the doctor and they like did yeah, I have acid reflux. I went to the doctor and they did a EKG. So they hook all these like electro things up to you. And then they're like, your heart's fine. It's probably acid reflux. That was actually when they found out I had a gallstone. They did all these tests. They like tested all my blood levels, all my blood vitamins and shit. I was low in like B12 and D, and they're like, we don't know why your B12's low. And I was like, okay. So then they tested me for like all the B12 things, like the shit was it? Whatever that gut infection thing is, H. pylori or whatever. They tested me for that. I didn't have that. They tested me for celiac. I didn't have celiac, thank God, or I couldn't drink my beer. I had an endoscopy. They stick the thing down your throat and look around in your upper GI tract. I had what was it? CT scan. You have to like drink some shit and then they like scan your abdomen. I had that to check for diverticulitis. That was fine, and they were like, no, it looks like, yeah, barium, I think that's what it was. And they're like, they're like, it looks like your gallbladder is a little wonky. And I was like, all right. So then they gave me that nuclear medicine test where they inject you with like shit, and then you sit under a thing for an hour and a half. And they're like, your gallbladder's working fine. So I mean, whatever. And then they did an ultrasound in my gallbladder, and it had the stone in it. So they're like, hey, that might be doing it. So you're going to need that out at some point. And I was like, oh, okay. And now it's gone. So I've had a lot of fun tests done that, you know, whatever. Hey, at least I'm still going, right? There's just so many weird tests they do. And then, after I had my gallbladder out, they thought I had a blockage because my GI tract hadn't woken up in like 5 days at that point. They're like, the anesthetic should have worn off by then. So then you go back, go to the ER, they test your pancreas. I swear to God, I had my pancreas tested like 3 times. They tested my pancreas before I got my gallbladder out. They tested my pancreas at the surgeon right before I was going to get it out, because they were like, gallbladder inflames pancreas. He was my Eastern European surgeon. And then they tested it at the ER, so like pancreas pain can be there, and then it was fine then. So I guess my pancreas is doing okay, so that's good. And then I had to go back because they're like, it must be blocked. You can get a blockage or whatever after surgery. So I had a CAT scan, which, you know, nothing more fun than after surgery on your, you know, abdomen or whatever, where they cut you open, having to like get up onto a table and then lay back onto it. And they had a CAT scan on that. And they're like, looks fine. I was like, cool. That's a $1,000 ER trip to be like, looks fine. Like, all right, great. Granted, that was with insurance. So, with insurance, my 2 ER trips and surgery ended up costing like, I think, $7,000. Without insurance, it would have been, I think, $30,000. So, you know, I'll take $7,000 over $30,000. But that was fun. And now I'm here. Yep. That's that. I had that happen to me once without insurance. Oh my God. If you guys know Nixium actually had to pay a lot of money because he has gallstones. He has gallstones much like I did, but he has multiple gallstones. And he's been fine lately, so I'm happy for him. But he had to have one of the gallstones kind of got clogged in his bile duct, which is like, that's the shit they don't want you to have. That's why you get your gallbladder out. Because your bile duct, right, which is what releases the bile. You got your duct, you got your bile, it's like bile flowing through. The stone in your gallbladder can clog it, and when that happens, it can get infected, it can go gangrene, and it can spread to your body, and then you die. And if you guys know cryotic, that's what happened to Cry. And Cry ignored it and then almost died because of it. So, I mean, that's some crazy shit. So I was like, Cry did not die. No, he almost died because he didn't do anything until it was really late. But he had to be in the hospital for like a month. And so I was like, I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to get it out now. And I did. So I'm glad I did get it done. So that was fun. The Cox and Crendooger episode on this was a good listen. Yeah, if you want to hear any fun stories, like how I got a catheter, that's probably the worst part. So, where did I leave off? I don't even know where I'm at. Oh yeah, Cry had that. Nixium had a thing where they went up into they went down his throat, and they went into his tube, like his bile duct tube, and they just poke the stone out of the duct. And so it cost a lot of money, and I think he's still paying it off to this point because he didn't have insurance. But they were like, you're gonna need your gallbladder out, and he was like, I can't afford that, so I'm gonna wait. And so he's just kind of waiting to get the surgery done. On a scale of 1 to nope, how painful is the catheter? It was a definite nope. It was a definite nope. It just burned, man. It just burned. I mean, just shoving a tube up your ding dong. That shit. Getting it pulled out was just as bad. I compared it to ripping off a Band-Aid down there. Inside there. Alright? Ripping off a Band-Aid inside your ding dong. That's what I compared it to. Nauseous with the 21 months. Nauseous with the 21-month resub. Thanks, Nauseous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Swag. And Karen out to 6 months. Half a year. That's enough time to explore like half an IKEA. You're not wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Swag. Crendooger, your catheter nurse, when they yanked it out, did she trick you with the alright breathe in, telling you when you breathe out, they'll yank it, and then they just yank it the second you begin to take a breath? No. She didn't do that. She just, I bled when I had it removed. Oh, God. Well, I didn't have that, so that was good. I had it where she was just like, alright, breathe in. So I was like, and I breathe in, and then she just yanked that shit. It was like she was starting a lawnmower. You know when you start a lawnmower, you're like, it was like that. She was just like, and I was like, like I assumed, okay, I didn't have this done before. I assumed, you know, they'd be like, but she was like, and I was like, and then she's like, you can take a minute or two, and I was like, I'll take 2. I'll take 2 minutes. And then I just laid there. And then my dad was in the ER from earlier, and he was like, yeah, I had one of those before when I had a hernia. I didn't want to tell you, but it burns a lot. And I was like, yep, it does. The big face, 27 months. Thank you, the big face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Swag. I mean, yeah, when it boils down to it, I think it was better than her slowly pulling it out. It was like a Band-Aid. I literally compared it to a Band-Aid of just like and ripping it off. It's better to just get it done with. So that's when they were like, if you don't pee in 10 hours, come back. And I was like, I will pee. I will pee. I will make sure that I urinate. And I did. Thank God. That's how they just remove tubes from your body, I found out. I had a catheter and a fluid drain, both which they just yanked out. Medical technology needs to advance faster. That's all I'm saying. Hello, Tina. Man, people always argue about like, oh, this healthcare system's worth, this is whatever. It's all just, I don't know. They all have their good and bad points, man. I don't know. I try to not worry about it. I know there's some people that don't mind or feel pain from casts, but I'm not one of them. Yeah, did not enjoy my catheter experience. Tasty Chops 06 with the 21 months. Thanks, Tasty Chops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Swag. Thank you for the 21 months. The Lost Jello with the Twitch Prime. Thank you, The Lost Jello. Swag. Thank you, Lost Jello, for the Twitch Prime. Absolutely free Twitch Prime. So yeah, I don't know. It's just been I swear, oh my god. I realized that all of my health issues actually started when I got mono, which was January, when was that? January of 2016? Raise your hand if you've had mono. Anybody here had mono? Raise your hand. I want to see hands in the chat. My dad had neck surgery a few weeks ago, and he had a drain coming out of his neck. They just went okay on 3 and 1 pull, and it was like a 3-inch long tube. Jesus Christ. My uncle told me his catheter horse story when he was 17. Nurses forgot to deflate the balloon before yanking it. They practically lifting him off the exam table by his ding. Jesus Christ. That sounds awful. Yeah, so let me tell you about mono. Most autoimmune disorders have close relation with mono. I have MS, and like 95% of people who have it had mono. That's what I heard. Mono actually causes a lot of, or leads to a lot of MS, or unlocks it with people, but like, all my things happened when I had mono. So when it was like, what was it, January? It's like 2.5 years ago at this point. So I had mono in January. Up until this point, I was fine. I was healthy. I was rolling along. I was like, doot, 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 doot. Then the mono hit. And I thought at first I had strep throat because I had like the white spots in the back of your throat, which I've had strep throat before. So I was like, oh, that looks like strep throat. It's probably just strep throat. So I go to the doctor. They're like, yeah, we'll swab your throat. They swab it. They're like, all right, that looks like strep. We'll wait it out. So you wait, and then they're like, it's fine. You don't have strep. And I was like, what? And they're like, we'll test you for another strain. So they test you for another strain of strep. And that one's fine. And you're like, okay. And then I was like, well, what do I got? And then they give me antibiotics. So I start taking the antibiotics, and I start getting worse. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm achy. I still have, like, I feel bad. And then I went to my other doctor, and he was like, oh, we're going to test you for mono. So they tested me, and he's like, yep, you have a mild strain of mono. Remind you, a mild strain. So I didn't even have full-blown mono. I had a mild strain of mono. And it was so bad. I can't even imagine having full-blown mono. Thank Jesus I had a mild strain of mono. Mono, it makes you tired and weak. It's like having a cold times 10. So you're just like, all the time. So you just feel awful. Apparently it inflames your spleen. So if you do any type of physical exercise or anything, you're not supposed to do anything with mono because you can rupture your spleen. It is after you're achy and sleepy or whatever, you get to a point where your sore throat kicks in. And I've had a lot of sore throats in my life. I've had normal sore throats. I've had strep throats, whatever. Mono was the worst sore throat I've ever had in my life. I was taking Advil every 4 hours. I would count down the hours in my head. I was like, all right, 2 hours to go. 2 hours to go till I can take another Advil. 1 hour, 30 minutes till the Advil. It was like my throat swelled so tight that I could barely eat food. It was just like razor blades nonstop. It was so bad. It was to the point where I'm I like sports. I'm a Packers fan. The Packers were in the playoffs against the Redskins. Normally, I'd wake up. I'm like, yeah, let's go, playoff game. I slept through half of it. I woke up and I was like, where's my Advil? Where's my Advil? It was so bad. And then once the mono ended, praise Jesus, that was like the greatest moment of my life. And then after that is when I started getting all my problems. That's when my like heartburn stuff kicked in, my gastritis kind of kicked in, my acid reflux kicked in, my gallbladder had problems. That like triggered some digestion shit in me, man. That's when everything started. So, thanks, mono. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It could always be worse, right? You could always have worse issues. So, I mean, I still have mono after 3 years? What? How's that work? Oh god, where did I leave off? Jedi Cue Ball, 17 months. Thank you, Jedi Cue Ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Swag. Thank you for 17 months. BV7798 with the 2 bits. Thank you for 2 bits. Delarna with the 16 months. Thank you, Delarna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Swag. No more Advil. Well, I don't take Advil all the time anymore. I take it occasionally, like maybe once or twice a month, so I'm not like taking it all the time or anything. Sublethal Coot, 35 bits. Thank you for 35 bits. Death Frost with the 4 bits. And Subs Sand Soda with the 100 bits. Have some bits for being the realest streamer I know. Also, Kobe. Thanks, Subs Sand Soda. Did the Celtics win tonight? I hope they did. They did. Nice. Get LeBron out of there. I hope it's Houston versus Boston. That'd be cool. Crybro with the 10 bits. Thank you, Crybro, for the 10 bits.
Thanks.
Am I gonna go to Wait, on a more fun note, if EXBC goes to TwitchCon, would you go as well just to meet them? Sounds like that would be the easiest way to hang out with them. The thing is, I would go to TwitchCon if it wasn't so close to BlizzCon. And BlizzCon's my favorite con. And I gotta go to BlizzCon. And I don't like traveling. And so, it's at that point where I'd rather go to BlizzCon. But, if I hung out with EXBC, I wish I could hang out with them outside of TwitchCon. Like, I wish if I went to Korea or something, I would want to hang out with them. EXBC is my favorite stream. Easily. I remember I found EXBC because, it's like, I don't know, just, it's such a chill stream. It's a long stream and a chill stream, which is what I enjoy. I remember I found them like 2 years ago under Social Eating when it first came out. And I was like, dude, this stream's great. This is my favorite stream. And then ever since then, I've been sub. Zero Dark Blaze with the 2 bits. Subs and Soda 100 bits. Let me just slam dunk that cup. Euphedoric with the Twitch Prime. Thank you, Euphedoric. Slug. Thank you, Euphedoric, for the Twitch Prime. And Deathopus with the 100 bits. Thank you, Deathopus, for the Twitch Prime. Thanks to you, I now watch EXBC all the time. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Have you done a 23andMe test? Not really the same as going to the doctor, but shows you're likely to get certain diseases. I have not. Part of me doesn't even want to do that because I have anxiety. And I would be constantly worried about it.
Thanks.
I don't know. I'm watching EXBC right now as well. It's just such a great thing. I remember when I was in England like 2 years ago, I'd put on EXBC at night. Anonymous Gamer 0 with the 12 months. Happy 1 year Nerd Day. Put some Crendooger nerds and hypers in the chat for Anonymous Gamer 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Swag. Happy 1 year. I've had terrible fatigue ever since I got mono. I'm still trying to figure out where it comes from. I feel like a zombie 99% of the time. How long ago did you have mono? My mom actually has the same thing. My mom got mono twice. I don't know how she did it, but apparently she got mono twice. And she's also always had fatigue ever since then. That might just be a weird-ass thing, kind of like how I got all my gastritis and gallstone problems after I got mono. I think she got fatigue and everything after she got mono. So, I haven't had that, but, you know, I've had my other fun things to go with it. Volpe9 with the Twitch Prime. Thank you, Volpe9, for the Twitch Prime. Swag. Thanks, Volpe9. Got around 2015. Don't know if it's related. Some people have chronic mono. I think it's got to be related. Mono does some crazy shit to you, dude. It like changes your body chemistry or something. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. We got Dr. John here, but he's not here right now. Mono stays with you forever. It just flares up every now and then. Don't quote me, though. I've heard that, too. It, like, stays dormant in your system or something. I have heard that. It's like chickenpox. Chickenpox is another thing where it stays dormant, and then after a while it has the potential to become shingles. So it's like that. Mamma mia. Dr. Tina. Oh yeah, Tina's gonna become a doctor eventually. You can ask Tina. She knows about drugs. I'm off to bed. Benadryl kicked in. I'm out. Night, Crendooger. See you later, sublethal coot. Is it weird that I own, like, some people, I don't get it. Some people watch so many streams. They're like, oh yeah, I have like, I'm following like 1,000 different streams. I legit follow, like, at least watch. I watch my friends, so I watch like Sam Dodger. You know, I'll tune into him every once in a while, Gmart. But like, for actual streams I watch in my free time, I watch EXBC. I'll watch like Skara for League of Legends. I'll watch Pokimane sometimes. I'll watch I don't know. I watch 80% of my stream watching's EXBC, to be completely honest. That's like it. I like Skara in League of Legends because Skara... Actually, I watch Fed sometimes too because I think he's funny. Skara, I just love how chill Skara is with League of Legends. He's like a very... Like, he'll describe what he's talking about. He'll be like, oh, I'm playing this champion. This is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? All Pokey plays now is Fortnite. I can't stand when people play Fortnite. I swear to God. I hate Fortnite. Alright? I don't care if people play Fortnite. I don't care if people have fun playing Fortnite. You can do whatever you want. I get some people who don't want to watch me play League of Legends. So I'm like, you know what? What are you going to do? But... I've talked about it over and over. I played Fortnite, okay, when it first came out. I remember because it came out and me and Gmart and everybody were like, hey, it's Fortnite, this new survival game. We played it. I was like, this is pretty cool. And then after about 3 days of playing it, I was like, oh, it's kind of repetitive and boring. I don't really care anymore. I don't want to play it anymore. Then the Battle Royale mode came out. And I played it once. And I won. I won my first ever Battle Royale Fortnite thing or whatever. And I was like, this is really easy. And then everyone started doing the building shit. Where it's like, just build shit. You know, build walls, whatever. And you like build walls and things. And that was it. And I was like, okay. I don't like that. I like PUBG. And I know people are like, PUBG's... Is that game out of alpha yet? No. Okay, I like PUBG because it has, you know, you use the terrain, right? If you get shot, you get shot. If you got terrain coverage, sometimes you luck into it, sometimes you don't, but you use the terrain as your defense. And I like that more than, hey, everybody, spam walls and stairs and shit. I swear to you, every time I see an ending match of Fortnite, it's people building stairways to heaven, right? They're like 10 million miles into the sky, and then people are just jumping off shotgunning each other. And that's it. I don't think that's fun. Alright? I get why people play it. it's free to play. It's a cartoony type of action battle royale game, and I understand that, but I just don't like it. That's just me. I want there to be another battle royale game that like everybody can play. You know what I mean? I just want there to be a new battle royale game that comes out at E3, so I'm pumped for that. I've been watching you Dodgers, Sam, Jesse, etc. for the past 8 years since the Cata days. I've gotten 2 college degrees and a lot of debt while watching y'all streams. Thanks, dude. I mean, we just, I feel so weird because, like, there's a lot of Twitch people, even, that have only been doing this, like, 5 years or so, where they're like, man, it's crazy to watch the scene change, right? But, like, I've almost been doing this 10 years, dude. Like, just think about that. I remember when I first started, people were like, are you really going to be able to make a career out of this? Like, 10 years. This January, we're only like 6 months away or so from me hitting my 10-year anniversary of making my YouTube channel. Like, that's insane. 10 years on the internet, I may as well be a caveman. We want Stardew Valley. We're going to play Stardew Valley. It's just, today was Benji's first day not in school. I played Fortnite because it's free and kind of enjoyed it, but nothing amazing. I can understand that. It's just like, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy watching it or playing it because I just don't like the game. It's Crendooger. I was just listening to the podcast. Nice, dude. I'm super burnout on watching battle royales. I don't mind watching battle royales as long as they're interesting, right? If it's a good battle royale game, I'd watch that. But it's just the fact that, like, it's either PUBG or Fortnite. I still don't mind PUBG, but I'm not as addicted to it as I once was. And Fortnite, I just don't care about. So I'm like, I'd really like something new. I started with Blue Please when it started in WoW Radio. Then I met Jesse at the Yogscast, and then Crendooger. Hell yeah. Dude, I still get people all the time that come in here and they're like, is this the same Crendooger that made those WoW videos? And I'm like, that's me. Here I am. 8 or 9 years later, here I am. Yeah, is this the WoW Crendooger? Why aren't you playing WoW Crendooger? Radical Heights. Dude. Radical Heights probably did better than Lawbreakers. I think Radical Heights has a bigger fan base than Lawbreakers did. Should have been free to play. You should look up Valhalla Medieval Viking Battle Royale with swords and bows. I hope that takes off. I just want a medieval battle royale game. That'd be great. I'd love that. Is this the same Crendooger with the WoW videos? That's a me. Like I said earlier, I'm going to make a video or a stream. I'm going to do something where I go back and watch some of my old WoW videos. Because I'm at the point where, like, if I watch some of my old WoW videos, I'm going to surprise myself. Because I've already forgotten, like, a vast majority of my old WoW videos. Like, what was it? It was, I don't know what was it. How to Win at Quests, I think it was. I watched that video. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember making this. And then half the video, I was like, oh my god, I forgot I even made this. And so it hit that point where I was like, dude, I'm essentially entertaining myself. Isn't that weird? I made videos, and then I watched my old videos that I've forgotten about, and then I laughed at them. So I essentially entertained myself. That's crazy. I started with TB before finding Jesse on co-optional and found Crendooger. I think a lot. I was actually gonna ask. I've asked this before, but like, how did you find out about me? I always find that interesting from a marketing perspective and just from a, like, I don't know, cool perspective. I love watching you and Nixium do anything together on YouTube. Comfy chats. Nixium's really cool. I love Nixium. He's a great guy. He's just a real dude. I like real people. Real people, not actors. Cox and Crendooger animated. TB. Co-optional TB. Mix of Jesse and Strippin. Co-optional. You came to the maker office and filmed non-content. God damn it, Octopimp. TB, Sensor 3. Game Station with Markiplier as a guest. Oh my god, I forgot I even did that. TB, Jesse, U Crendooger. TB, WTF series and co-optional in Crendooger. Friend showed me Machinima. TGS, TB, co-op. Cox and Crendooger, TB. Octo, WoW videos, podcast. TB. Co-optional Jesse Husky Dodger podcast TB Jesse U. Wow. Friend mimicked your Billy voice and I asked where it's from. Oh boy. Oh jeez. TB TGS. Completionist plugging your non-content on game theory? Oh my god. I remember when that happened. Secret Hitler podcast, Jesse Game Station podcast. That's right. Before it was co-optional, it was the TGS podcast. TB, then podcast, Binge Cox and Crendooger, Machinimas, Dodger TB StarCraft, indie game on stream, WoW survival videos. I remember your WoW in a minute vids, but I started loving you with Cox and Crendooger. Saints Row. Dude, Saints Row playthrough is one of my favorite Let's Play things I've ever done. And some of the things I said in that, I don't know if they would work in today's 2018 society. There's just, I remember I went back and watched the highlights and I was like, oh my god, this would like get blown up on Twitter if I said this in 2018. For example, there's a point where we were playing Saints Row 3 and then Jesse was like, why is this guy in the trunk? And I was like, it's the Mexican police. And I was like, he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, they're hiding in the trunk to get across the border. And he's like, why would the Mexican police want to get across the border? And I was like, they don't want to be in Mexico either. So, I mean, you know, that was, there are things like that said then. It was 2012, all right? You can say whatever you want. Where am I at? Crendooger, actually, when you pretend to be Dodger. Found TB right before co-optional happened. Let's see. Saints Row is the greatest Let's Play game. Saints Row 3 was especially good because it was a nice combination of wacky but still like a GTA atmosphere, so I like that a lot. I remember Jesse saying something along the lines that if you go back in time, a whole lot of people owe a lot to TB and one day he's going to cash in. Dude, TB helped a lot of people. It's crazy because like TB, I used to watch Blue Please with TB, and so it was weird getting to a point where you go from like watching TB and being like a fanboy of his stuff and being like, oh, this guy's cool, to actually like being on his show, to the point where like, you know, I stayed at his house. You know, it was crazy. Which makes everything happening to him right now like really sad. But I don't know, man. That's life. What are you gonna do? How's Mindflame? Oh my god, Mindflame. Oh my god, Mindflame. Mindflame showed up in my stream like a month ago, and he was like, how are you, nerd? And I was like, oh my god, it's Mindflame. And then he disappeared again. Shit's crazy, dude. You remember Revelations 2012? I'll never forget Revelations 2012. Never. I will never forget that game. Have you ever kept a dream journal? Yes. I've been doing it recently, and it's fascinating to look back on, or weird depending on how much I drank. Lilligrim with the Twitch Prime. Thank you, Lilligrim, for the Twitch Prime. Swag. Thanks, Lilligrim. Dude, I've kept a dream journal. Plus, I just remember my dreams. I typically just remember my dreams anyway. And my dreams recently have not been fun. They're not like nightmares, but they're just like weird dreams. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think a lot of my weird humor I actually learned from Mindflame. I think I adapted a lot of Mindflame's weird humor into my own humor. And then I kind of mixed that together with Benji. If you know Benji, obviously, from games we played earlier today. I think Benji was like the cherry on top of my humor. He took my humor and he added in that he made my humor evolve into like Tim and Eric humor. If you've ever seen Tim and Eric, me and Benji are essentially the off version of Tim and Eric. We're like the generic version. We do weird ass voices, characterization, weird. we like do all that all the time. That's our thing. Yeah, Mindflame had a kid. Dude, speaking of TB, I knew TB liked me when he said Crendooger. I remember what it was. He said, it's about one of my WoW machinimas. I linked him. He was like, Crendooger is not completely annoying and only kind of dumb. It was something like that. And I was like, whoa, he likes me. Tim and generic. Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. But yeah, behind the scenes, me and Benji will always... We have a WhatsApp, me, Sam, Benji, and Gmart, and me and Benji have gone on for like days of like doing characterizations of like, my name's Johnson and I love living on my ranch down on the farm. We'll like do like weird southern caricatures and like go into detail and like making fun of stuff, and then Gmart will be like, can you guys stop doing that? And then Sam's just like, who wants to play video games for 20 hours? So they don't understand the deep level of the characterizations and humor, but that's all right. You don't understand. It's not about shutting up. It's about embracing, okay? It's about embracing the observations of society. It's about observing society, okay? And societal norms and breaking them down into overdramatic, humorous caricatures that are fun to do, okay? That's what it is. All right. What was I even talking about? I don't remember what I was even talking about. Oh yeah, how people found me on the internet. That's what I was talking about. And TB, Jesse. Dude, we've been doing Cox and Crendooger for like 5 years at this point. That's kind of insane too. And both of us have changed a lot. I've gotten more confident over the years, which I found funny because if you listen to old Cox and Crendoors versus new Cox and Crendoors, I do have that newer, it's not even a, it's that, I don't know what it is. All I know is when I played Pit People with Jesse, the first episode, someone was like, wow, I haven't heard Crendooger in like 2 years, and he sounds a lot more confident. I don't know. Maybe it's the alcohol. It's probably the alcohol. It's just getting older. You know, I start realizing the point of where, why older people are the way they are. You know how, like, it's an old guy at a restaurant? Jesse says this with, like, his dad. Old guy at a restaurant where they just take, like, jelly packets and shit, and they're like, my food's cold. Right? And they don't care. And then people, like younger people are embarrassed, like, oh my god, my grandpa's embarrassing me here, my dad or whatever. You start reaching that point where you're like, wow, I see why they do this. You get to the point where you've experienced so much in life and you've gone through so many things, right? When you're like, I don't know, what was that? When I started YouTube, I was 19. So now I'm going to be 29 in July. When I started YouTube, I was like, you know, I never dated before. I never had that many medical things. I just had my crippling anxiety and social anxiety and hypochondria. People didn't think I talked. When I started making YouTube videos, people were like, oh my god, you talk? It was one of those things, right? I didn't like go to parties. I just sat inside and I played video games. So now it's at a point where like I've, you know, obviously I've dated. I've been in a relationship for 5 years. I've traveled. I've gone all over the United States. I've gone overseas. I've, you know, built my brand. I've done YouTube, I've live streamed, I've been to parties, man. I've totally went to parties. You know, you just experience shit. I've had a catheter shoved up my ding dong. I've had my gallbladder taken out. I've had EKGs, PKGs, PK fires. You know, you get all that shit. And then, you know, you have your you hit the point where like you got stories to share, right? You finally hit that point where you get, when you're younger, you get tired of old people being like, I had 10 ounces of fluid drained out of my back. And you're like, I got some of those stories. You're like, you had 10 ounces of fluid drained out of your back. Well, guess what I had? I had my gallbladder taken out, catheter shoved in me, yanked out, ultrasound shit, whatever. And then they're like, ah, you think that's bad? You essentially just become, you know, guess what I've had? It just boils down to that. And so you hit a point where you're like, you know what? I don't give a shit. You slowly, as you get older, progress to points of like, I've done things in my life. You care less. And so you're like, oh, whatever. Right? Like, you know, when you're younger, you're still trying to be hip and cool, and you're like, oh man, whatever. And then you get older and you're like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Am I crazy? I realized I'm old when I can't stand... Yeah, where did I see that? I realized I'm old when I can't stand young people talking loudly in public. Yeah. I hate when young people are talking loudly in public. Or they're like being annoying and like shoving... Like there, what was it? Me, G-Mart, and Toaster Woman were in Steak and Shake. And these like... what is it? What's the thing after millennials? I'm a millennial, technically. So what's the Generation X? Is that what it is? It sounds like some weird form of X-Men. They're like taking Instagram pictures. They're like shoving the thing, and it was like shaking the booth. Like the booth was shaking. Generation Z. That's even... Generation Z. They're just shaking the booth and shit. It was like... You know... Why? You know, you don't gotta shake an entire Steak and Shake to take an Instagram picture. I don't know. Generation Z? Z. Why is it Z and Z? Generation X is before millennial. Oh yeah, that's like 35 plus, I think, yeah. Dude, millennials, okay. As a millennial, we were the last generation that like lived without the internet. You know what I mean? Like we were the generation that grew up like we had dial-up internet, we had 90s cartoons, like you had the computer and video games, but you had to go outside. Yeah, we grew with the internet. I think Z and Z is American Canadian. I think so too. I think it's also European, because I know Benji and Sam are like, hey, you Zed. And I'm like, what the shit do you say? You just say that Power Rangers villain? Yeah, I had my first cell phone when I was like 13, I think. 13 or 14. And it was a flip phone. It was the flip. You like flipped it open. I don't know. All I remember was... Is that like a thing with everybody? Here's what I've realized with nostalgia, right? Obviously, some people experience this with WoW Classic, WoW Nostalgia, whatever. What was nostalgic for older people back in the day, things like old TV shows, old cartoons, like my parents will be like, remember the Andy Griffith show? And then they'll watch the Andy Griffith show and be like, this is great. And I'm like, this is so boring. Right? It's just like, doo-doo-doo. That type of thing. It's boring to me. Leave It to Beaver. I remember my grandma was like, I love Leave It to Beaver. I'm like, this is the most boring shit. It's all super hyped up happiness. Like, I sure am happy, Beaver. I took 20 cc's of morphine. Like, it's not realistic. You know, the dad's probably drinking whiskey every hour. Right? It's not real. I thought it was dumb. Are Crendooger and Toaster Woman still a thing? Yes, we still are. I think we're over 5 years now. I'm 28. I'll be 29 in a few months. So, where was I getting to? Am I going to hit the age where I stop getting into new technology? I don't think so. Well, I can't say no, but like, I'll definitely hit a point where I stop caring as much about new technology. But as somebody who does this as my job, it's kind of like, I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoy new technology, so I don't see why I would stop doing that or getting into new technology, you know what I mean? I think when you grow up with more technology and you get used to the adapting of everything, you're more accepting of it. Like, older people grew up when it was more slow. It's like, wow, we got a TV and a telephone. Like, wow, crazy. You know, I grew up where it was constantly like, here's Windows 98, here's Windows ME, here's Windows XP, here's Windows whatever, here's like the new console, here's this new console, here's that. Internet's changing, it's dial-up, it's cable, it's fiber, it's, you know, so you're used to that shit. And I think when you grow up with that, you're more used to it compared to the older generations. I don't even know where did I start out at? Oh yeah, things like Andy Griffith. So the thing was, right, older people have that. Or I notice a lot of people in, like, say, their late 40s, early 50s, they love rock music, right? Rock. I said that so weird. Rock music. Ooh. Like rock music, right? Like, oh yeah, I remember when, you know, we had 80s movies and we listened to Van Halen and we did all that, right? They always go back to that. Like, yeah, the good old days, rock on, Ozzy Osbourne. Which, by the way, Ozzy Osbourne, I don't know how he's still alive. That's like a perfect example of genetics somehow powering over whatever's going on there. Besides that, it's like we have nostalgia with video games. And I think that's always really interesting, because now so many people are into video games, which used to be such a nerdy thing. Like, you play video games, you loser. And now it's become such a norm. Like, bro, you Fortnite, bro? Yeah, bro. It hits the point where I'm extremely nostalgic about old video games, as you've probably seen from watching me on this Twitch channel, where I've played Banjo-Kazooie twice now, right? Banjo-Kazooie, I first played Banjo-Kazooie, when did it come out? Banjo-Kazooie. I played Banjo-Kazooie when it came out in 1998, so I was 9 years old. And I was so nostalgic about Banjo-Kazooie when I played it and beat it. And I was nostalgic enough to play it and beat it again, like a few months ago. And just all those old games, it's like, wow. You know, when you're a kid and you play a video game like that, it blows your mind, because when you're an adult, you're so used to playing, it's like anything. You get used to stereotypes, you get used to tropes, right? So you can turn on any type of television show and it'll be like, oh, this is the trope where, you know, the chosen one saves the day, right? You're like, I know this thing, I know this story. It could be a video game, like, oh yeah, this is this. But when you're a kid, you don't know those tropes, you don't know these things yet. So you're like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? This is crazy. Your mind's just blown because you're a kid. You don't know shit. And then, you play like the reason I played MU Online the last week for nostalgic purposes, and the reason I play it like every year, is that very reason. The first time I ever played an MMORPG was MU Online. I didn't play RuneScape first or anything like that. I'm sure people get the same type of, you know, nostalgic hit with WoW or RuneScape or what was it? Dark. I know Rob, Unforgotten Realms, Rob, Old Man Willikers. He has that with what's that one called? Dark something? Somebody'll know it. It's like Ultima. Ultima Online's one. There's another one. It's not Ultima Online. Dark Age of Camelot. That's what it is. Dark Age of Camelot. He always says that's his like big nostalgic game. When you play those games, it's like a drug, essentially. It like hits you like, oh my god, I can create a character, I can level up, I get gear, I get like, And that, I think it just sticks with you. Like, WoW obviously was my biggest game I played, but like before that, that's what it was. God damn it, music. There we go. And it's weird having that happen because you become nostalgic about video games versus television shows and going outside, which I think is weird. So like every year of my life, like from 6th grade, I played Age of Empires, like the original Age of Empires. 7th grade, I played Empire Earth. 8th grade, I played Empire's Dawn of the Modern World. Freshman year of high school, I played WoW. I played Halo 2, and then I played WoW, actually. I played Halo 2. Then I played sophomore year more WoW in Battlefield, 1942. And then, like, it hits that point where, like, the nostalgic feelings are so strong that I can go back and every year be like, this is the game I played that year. You know what I mean? Sophomore year was WoW the Burning Crusade. Junior year, there was no WoW expansion. And then senior year, I believe Wrath came out, but it didn't come out till the summer. So I was already graduated by then, about to start community college. So yeah. I also played a lot of sports games, so I remember a lot of like old Madden games and stuff like that, like the soundtrack specifically. Did you ever play the DK Country Original Trilogy? No. Actually, you know what? I did. I rented it from Blockbuster. If that dates me. I rented it from Blockbuster. Yeah, I mean, anything can make you nostalgic. Music, movies, video games. It's just, those things tie into a time in your life, and they just meld together. It doesn't even have to be a good or bad time. It could just be a time in your life. Like, for example, I always tell this story when I do, like, WoW things. There's a point in Burning Crusade, alright? This is a vivid memory I have, and I think it's because I tripped. I was in Terracar Forest. I was, like, sophomore in high school, so I was, like, 16 or something. I got Chinese food. I got my Chinese food. It was reheated, because we got it the night before, so it was like a Saturday. We got it on Friday night. Got my Chinese food. I was like, I'm going to keep leveling in Terracar Forest. And I was walking back, and I slipped, and I was like, what? And I, like, caught my Chinese food as I fell. And I was like, oh my god. But for some reason, well, I guess that would be the reason. Every time I have Chinese food now, I think back to that specific moment. Or if I'm in Terracar Forest, I think back to that specific moment. So, like, that traumatic, almost falling experience is just stuck in my head. And I couldn't tell you anything else about, like, the days after or before that, but that specific moment, I remember. Another one of those is, I remember, it was a candle. I smelled this candle, and my mom must have bought the candle, or like a similar smell. And I smelled that candle. It's like, we were just walking around the mall, and I was like, hey, candles. We started smelling them. And it was like Wine Vineyard, which they rename candles all the time, right? They'll take, but this is something I had to bring up on Cox and Crendooger. They'll take candles, right? They'll be like, this is apple pie autumn, right? And you smell it, you're like, oh yeah, it's like apple pie. They rebrand that in the summertime as like 4th of July apple pie. And you're like, hold on a second. This is the same candle, and you've just rebranded it for a different season. I'm on to you, candle makers. I'm on to you, Yankee Candle. Alright? They're scamming you. Asher MD with the 10 bits. Thank you, Asher MD, for the 10 bits. So yeah, they just do that. Either way, that's how I know it must have been some different candle, but they call it like Grape Vineyard this time, alright? So I picked up Grape Vineyard, and I was like, what's this smell like? I smelled it, and like, psh, my brain was just like, and I was like, Burning Crusade, Christmas. It hit me. I don't remember anything else from that, but I remember Burning Crusade, Christmas, or just winter. Not even like Christmas, just winter time. It hit me so hard, and I was like, hold on. Give me a minute. And then I smelled it again, and I was like, that's it. Burning Crusade, winter. I don't remember any specific memories right? But I just remember that. I like how all my memories are tied into like a video game or a World of Warcraft expansion. That describes my life. I don't know what it is. I still have that candle. Maybe I should just do a thing where I smell candles and talk about memories. I don't know, man. Oh yeah, do I have my dream journal? Somebody earlier talked about dream journals, and I kept a dream journal for like, I don't know, like 3 months or something. I read them off on Cox and Crendooger. Was it Cox and Crendooger? It was something. Hold on. I have some weird, some weird dreams. Hold on, let me find it. Some of these are book ideas. Some of these are random ass things. Here we go. Here's one. Did you lucid dream? I've lucid dreamed twice, and both of them are when I was like younger. One was almost lucid, like a few weeks ago, but it wasn't like, you know, I didn't control it or anything. Hold on. Wow, Mark, my life as well, my dude. You're not alone. Hell yeah. Hold on. So yeah, here's one dream I had. So I have friends named Dan and Steve. If you ever saw Relaxing Raid Runs, you know who Steve is. Actually, if you ever saw my old vlogs, you know who Dan is. He went to my first BlizzCon with me. Dan and Steve got food with me 3 days in a row. Told kid he looked like a weasel. Talked to old guy about sports. Guy at Airbnb complains about swearing and hated it till he screamed. Live stream. Dodger at a con. Cat climbs stair railing. 98.6. Figured it out. That's what I wrote down. That's what I wrote down in my dream thing. Here's another one. Trip to Korea. Fishing off dock. Guy almost drives off. War against British. Mega storm. 72-hour flight. Lady got sick. That's it. That's it.
Thanks.
Here's another one. Mr. Burns, Snow White, testing us about his new shoes. That's it. On the moon taking pictures, phone fills up. That's another one. Went back to high school after waking up late from Pokemon. Took crowded English class and talked about YouTube. Mom now working there. Oh, here's another one. This is, oh my god. Dodger Sam, new house. Can't see fingers after cracking backs. House had good lighting, sunlight, sushi machine like a Keurig but was old? Question mark. Cabins next door. Kid runs out screaming. Guy is hitting wife and slaps her, then just off balcony and hits head and bounces up. Starts talking about sports to the neighbors. Get in a huge fight with pickaxe, etc. That's another dream. I remember this one vividly, so I mean I can talk about this one. This is a dream. Dodger and Sam got a new house, all right? This is back when like Dodger and Sam were like just getting married, so I think that was in my brain. So I was like, all right, they got a new house. Then we were walking around their house, all right? I remember going around being like, this house has good lighting, man. This is cool. And then they had like a sushi machine. It was like something out of a Studio Ghibli movie. It was like this sushi machine, but it was like smoking, like smoke came out of it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Then I remember we looked out the window and I was like, oh shit, what's happening next door? And it was this guy and he was like, what the fuck going on? He was like yelling at his wife and he like slapped her and then his kid was crying. And then he jumped off the balcony, kind of like if you were to watch an anime or something where they're like, they like land like, oh, it's like that type of thing. Then I remember like all the neighbors were all around. He was talking to them, and me and G-Mart were there. G-Mart was in this dream too. I didn't write it down, but I remember. And I was like, hey, we were like prone, and we were like crawling, and I was like, hey, I'll get the pickaxe. I'll hit him in the back of the head. All right, you loop around. This is like some PUBG shit. Maybe we were playing Battlegrounds at this point. We probably were. Then I like went up and I like hit him with the pickaxe and he like turned around like a villain or some shit and he was like, oh. And we had to go, I remember we specifically had to go for the nape of the head. So this is like Attack on Titan type of stuff. And then we like finally brought him down and then I woke up. That's what the dream was. So that was another one. Let's see. What else did I have? Oh my god. My lucid dream I had. There's two of them. So let me tell you about those. My one lucid dream I had was... I think I was like 10 years old. And I remember I was in an airplane. I was like, you know those dreams where you're flying? I was like a legit like, woo, I'm an airplane. And I was flying. And I remember I was flying over all these things, like farmland and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I had to stop and refuel. And the guy at the gas station where I was refueling, I don't know how I was refueling, don't ask me. But he was like, hey, this sure seems like a dream. And I was like, yeah, it does. And then I like stood there and I was like, yeah, it does. And I like started having this weird realization of I'm dreaming. And then I was like, I can do anything. I can ride a dragon. And then I was riding like a Chinese dragon, like one of those like Chinese festival dragons. I was riding it and I was like, whoa. And then I woke up. So that was one of them. The other one was, yeah, it was like a serpent dragon. Then the other one was I'm pretty sure I was playing Super Mario 64. Because I was in the desert. You know the desert level of Super Mario 64 where those shit things take your hat? I don't know what they actually are. I don't remember. But those things will take your hat. And you gotta get your hat back. What are those? The Shy Guys. Oh, the Shy Guys take your hat? Is that what it is? Okay. Either way, that's what it was. I remember we're in the desert. And I was with my grade school class. So it was me and all my classmates. And we were walking through the desert. And then my one friend was like, hey, we can take the side path. And so he turned. And we looked. And then there's this like hole in the atmosphere. And we went in through it. And then we were in his house. And I was like, whoa, we're in your house. We don't have to go to school. Which I guess school was being in the Mario desert. I don't know. So... we were in his house, and then I looked up, and I was like, hey, dude, I think I'm dreaming. And he was like, yeah, I think you're dreaming too. And I was like, but I don't know if I am. Can you, like, punch me in the face? And he was like, why do you want me to punch you in the face? And I'm like, well, if I'm dreaming, I'll wake up. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, ugh. And he went to punch me, and I woke up right as the punch came in. And that was the other time I lucid dreamed. And it was some crazy shit. Because I think that happened when I was like 12 years old or something. 11, 12. Either way. Oh my god, I used to get that thing too where you're asleep but you're not asleep. Sleep paralysis. That's what it is. I used to get that all the time. Oh my god. If you've ever had sleep paralysis, that's some... It's creepy shit, dude. So, yeah. I feel like a lot of people have had it. If you haven't had it, it is... I haven't gotten it in years. I think the last time I got it was... I got it a lot when I was a younger kid. I don't know what it is, but I think when you're a kid, you're just prone to getting it more. I remember I was like 12. It was around there. All these dreams happened when I was like 12. And I remember I woke up and I was like, I want to keep sleeping. So I like tried to go back to sleep. And then you're kind of lucid dreaming, but you're still awake. It's weird. So like, yeah, I think it is kind of like that's probably why I had lucid dreams around the same time. I think I was just hitting that point where I was almost lucid dreaming or I was lucid dreaming. And that's why I got so much sleep paralysis. And I remember I was laying there. And I was like, oh my god, I can't move. And you get to that point, you're like, I can't move. And you start panicking. But you know you're awake, and you know you're asleep at the same time. And so you're laying there just like, I'm asleep, but I'm awake. I can't move. What am I going to do? I don't know what to do. And then I was like, okay. So you like talk to yourself. You're like, okay, try to move your arm. And then you try to move your arm, and you can't do it. And you're like, okay, try to move your... leg. And then you're like, okay, try to move your neck. And whenever I would do it, I would always try to move my neck, and it would be like, and then I'd be like, ugh. And I would just jolt awake whenever I would move my neck. That was my trick to waking up, was rolling my head. And I'd be like, bup, and I'd pop awake. That was some weird shit. Sleep paralysis is when your body's still in rest mode, but your brain's awake and aware you're trapped and able to move, and it's actually an idea that the panic you get from being unable to move is what causes the horrifying hallucinations. It probably is, yeah. I remember, what was it? I never had like hallucinations with sleep paralysis, but I did always have just the panic set in of like, oh my god, I can't move. That was the biggest thing that happened, was just I can't move. And whenever I'd roll my neck, that's when I would wake up. I don't know. Oh my god, there would always be like a weird sound too. I get this sometimes still, but like I'll just be laying there and you'll either see like a flash of light, like a psh, or you'll hear just like a really loud sound, like a bah! And I'll be like, huh? And I looked it up, and apparently that's your body, like, testing if it's gonna fall asleep. It's some weird shit like that. I don't know. But, like, every once in a while, you'll just hear, like, a pop, like a really loud sound, and it jolts you awake at sometimes, even when you're about to fall asleep. I notice if I'm really tired, too, like, if I haven't slept well, I'll have, like, really vivid, like, visions in my head when I close my eyes to fall asleep. Kind of like an HD imagination. That's how I described it. Did you ever have a sleep paralysis dream where you constantly get up, realize you're dreaming, that you're awake and they're still asleep? My only defense was to fall asleep in the dream and wake up an hour later. I actually had that happen like the other day, where I've had it where I couldn't fall asleep in my dream. My dream was me not being able to fall asleep. You know what I mean? And so I'd be like, oh my god, it's almost 11 a.m. I can't sleep. This is the worst. And like I'm panicking in my dream, and then I wake up from that dream and I'm like, oh, that was a dream. I don't know. That's partially part of my sleep anxiety, I guess. Dis Faceplank with the 4 months. Good to be back. Thank you, Dis Faceplank, for the 4 months. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sword. Thank you very much for the 4 months. Is it weird I've never had any of this? I mean, it probably just means you're normal. I don't think it's weird. No. I once had a dream where I kept waking up into other dreams and I felt like it went on for days. Jesus. That is some Inception shit. God damn. Oh my god, Nazamanj with the 42 months. What is that? 12, 24, 24. You're 6 months away from 4 years. Jesus, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 42. Swag. Ooh. The only thing weirder than sleep is anesthesia, which I've had anesthesia a few times now, but anesthesia is the weird thing. So whenever you think of anesthesia, right, you're like, oh man, I was out for that surgery. You think like, oh, like you were asleep, but like you don't dream during anesthetic. You're out. And you wake up and you're like, like it's weird. It's weird. It's definitely the closest thing to being in a coma. It's probably the closest thing to being dead, to be honest. It's like when you sleep, right? When you sleep, it feels like time has gone by. When you fall asleep, you wake up, you're like, oh, whoa, it feels like 10 years have went by. But when you're under anesthetic, it's like, and you're like, what? Like, what happened? It's so weird. I remember my first time I had anesthetic was with my wisdom teeth. Or no, it was my oral surgery. I had a thing because this tooth was like twisted, and they had to cut open my gum and like twist it around and then pull it down with a chain. And then I had to have a brace on that tooth with my other braces to like straighten it. That was a fun time. So that was the first time, and I was like, whoa, that was weird. Then there was the wisdom teeth. I had my wisdom teeth out. I was out for that. Then I had the endoscopy. My endoscopy was the first time I had, like, what was it? Local anesthetic? I think it was local anesthetic. Where you're just out and then you're like, oh. I remember they're like, all right, you ready to go get your endoscopy? I'm like, yeah. And then it's like, and then I'm like, what? And you just like wake up and my mom's like, hey, it's over. And I'm like, whoa. It's just a weird like, whoa, man. And then for my gallbladder surgery, it was even better because I think I had like 4 or 5 hours of sleep because I was nervous. I was like, I had to wake up at like 8 a.m. Whatever. And they had me do all the things. You like scrub down and shit with all the antibacterial stuff. And then you, what was it? You like put on the hat wherever you get into the bed. And then the IV guy comes over and they like IV you. They give you some stuff to hydrate you. And then the anesthesia guy comes over and he's like, yo, so we're going to give you something to calm you down a bit. And see what happens. And I was like, okay. And I remember they gave me, I don't know what they gave me, but whatever they gave me was crazy because I don't remember anything after that. I remember 3 seconds. And 3 of those seconds were just me like with the mask over being like, ah. And then I was out again. And that was it. And I remember because after they gave me this stuff, my aunt came over who like worked there and she was like, hey, how's it going? Whatever. And then after that, I was gone. They were like, do you remember when I was like, wasn't the surgeon supposed to come over and talk to me? And they're like, he did. He did come talk to you. And I was like, no, he didn't. And they're like, yeah, he did. And then they're like, you talked to him, we talked about stuff, then you waved to us. Like, it was Toaster Woman and my mom, and they're like, yeah, like, you waved to us. We were like, hey, no, good luck. And you were like, ah. And I was like, oh my God. I don't remember any of that. I don't remember anything. I was like, whatever they gave me, they gave me some good shit, man. I was gone. That mixed with like sleep, not getting enough sleep was just Mamma mia. Wow. That was better than morphine. People always talk about morphine. Whatever they gave me then was better than morphine. Morphine, they gave me, I got morphine when I had to go to the ER the second time. First time was for the catheter, which, you know, I've already talked about that. Second time was for my, like, bloatingness I was getting. And they gave me morphine. It didn't even do anything. I still had the pain, but I just, like, felt tired. I was like, I was just kind of, like, like, I don't know. I was like, this isn't worth whatever they make you pay for it. I don't know. Whenever I get anesthesia, I just fall asleep, wake up instant later after surgery. Yeah. I'm allergic to morphine. They gave it to me after my jaw surgery and I couldn't stop throwing up after take it. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. When they gave me my, what was it? They gave me my narcotic thing after surgery. They're like, here's your pill to help with the pain. And I like barely ate a graham cracker with it. And I like felt so nauseous. So I was like, oh. And I was like, I can't throw up. I legit had surgery today. If I throw up, my stitches are gonna come out. I'm gonna be in so much pain. And then I like had some water and I felt fine. But it was, oh my God. That would have been the worst experience, I think, in my life if that would have happened. So yeah. I like that almost everyone in chat can relate to everything Crendooger's talking about. I feel like a lot of people that have watched me for long enough to where I think a vast majority of my audience is probably 18 to like 35, I think. I know that from my YouTube analytics. I don't know about Twitch, but most everybody either started watching me when they were younger and now they've grown up, or they started watching me when they were about my age and grew up. Sorry, so most people are older and have had health problems at least a few times. we get some ages in the chat? And no, like, I'm 12 by the ways. What do we got? 33, right, 35, 25, 34, 13 Kappa, 33 here. I'm 36, 31, 20, 20, 25, 24, 33, 29, 20, 19, 28, 22, 27, 28, 25, 27, 28, 33, 23, 64, 28, 29, 28. Yeah, so pretty much, I think our average is like late 20s, which is like how old I am. 32, 27, 20, 23, 21, 25, 33, 38, 35, 32, 33, 34, 41, mamma mia. 33, 33, 26. God, there's so many numbers. 23, by the way. 38. Oh my god, Silpha, you're 38? I thought you were like 28. Wowee. 37, yeah. Actually, I'd say the average age is like 30. It's probably a little older than I thought. This is the first time I've seen your face in over 7 years I've known you. I'm 26. Oh my god. What about on the podcast? I've been on the Co-optional podcast. Or you not watch that? Crendooger would be a great cattle rapper. Cattle rapper? What's a cattle rapper? Have you any idea about Force Strategy Gaming? He just changes his name all the time. I'll be 43 in August. Oh my god. Deep man voice. I'm a lolly. Trust me, I'm on the internet. It's me, a lolly. So yeah, I'd say our average is around like 30. So you've got some like 20s, some late 30s, early 30s, mid 20s, couple 40s, couple like under 18. Like there's some outliers there, but for the vast majority, we're like around like mid 20s to like early 30s, I think. Which is what I like. I guess it would make sense too, because I've been, like I said, I've been on the internet for like 10 years at this point, so it's kind of a built-up audience of people over time. Started watching when I was like 10, now 17. That's what I mean. So then there's people who started watching me when they're 17, now they're like in their mid-20s. There's people like started watching when they're like 30, now they're 40. Like, who knows? I download the audio of the podcast. Ah, I see. Oh, I know what you mean now. The auctioneer type of thing, yeah. Wow, it's 4 a.m. already. All right, maybe I shouldn't play League of Legends. I'm at the point. Now I see why Dodger does this, dude. Dude, every time Dodger does coffee time, she just sits here and talks. This is all I do. I should just do this more often. This is easy. I don't have to play video games. I just sit here and talk. This is easy. I don't have to get criticized about my gameplay. I don't have to yell at my bot lane for going 1 in 15. I don't have to get sniped in the middle of the field doing claps. This is awesome. Sinvicta's still waiting in LoL. Sinvicta's not even on League of Legends, so I don't think he's waiting in here. Yeah, Dodgers hangs out for a bit and talks, but to be fair, Crendooger, she plays games after she finishes. Yeah, she does play games after she finishes, that's true. But it's also not 4 a.m. when she finishes talking. I can remember you at BlizzCon one year with Quark from DS9. Quark from DS9? I don't know what that means. Quark? DS9? Oh, the Star Trek. Ah, yes. Okay. No way to ask, but I think our recommendations of if you do morning Crendooger, invite Cat and Toast for nice chats. That's true. Listen, I'm just getting started with the IRL, alright? I gotta work my way into it. We'll get there eventually. I wanted to do the thing where I give people advice. That's like a common thing where people like go to Discord and then I'll like bring in random subs and like you can ask questions and I'll give you advice. It's not gonna be good advice, but it'll be advice nonetheless. Or I was gonna do like where people just tweet me stuff and I can review it. That'd be a fun thing to do. It's just a lot of, you know. Or I can watch my old videos. That's another thing I can do. Watch my old YouTube videos. There's plenty of stuff we can do. My throat's also getting really dry from constantly talking this whole time. About to have lunch. Time zones are weird. Yeah. Time zones are weird. It was so weird being in England, like last time CoxCon happened, where I'd be like, all right, well, time to go to bed, and then my parents were like, we're eating dinner. And I was like, what the shit? Well, that's what's kind of nice about being in Chicago, because you're kind of in the center. You're in like the center. There's Toast Robin dying in the background. I think she's working out. So probably. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so it's this CoxCon of thing this year, yes, but I'm not going. Maybe I'll go next year, but just after everything that's happened so far this year, I'm still dealing with like the surgical issues of like getting used to my digestive tract being you know, not used to having a gallbladder with it. So I'm just taking time. I'm gonna go to BlizzCon though, no doubt. I'm going to BlizzCon. What was I even saying? I already forgot what I was saying again. Maybe this is time to stop. Maybe I just need to go drink some water and just not talk anymore. Time zones. Oh yeah, that's what I like about time zone being like the central time zone in the center, is because if somebody's on the East Coast, I'm only an hour behind them, and if somebody's on the West Coast, like Sam and Jesse and all them, I'm only 2 hours ahead of them. So it's not terrible. It's only like 2 hours. Like, it's not too bad. It's nice when I go to LA actually, because then pretty much you feel like your sleep schedule is fixed. It's like you go to bed at 3 a.m. instead of 5 a.m. You're like, wow, this is great. I'm normal again. So yeah. So I think I'm done. I need to just go drink some water, chill out. Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. I was hoping to meet you at BlizzCon last year, but your teeth happened, and then I wanted to see you this year, but the tickets went too fast. Damn. Well, yeah, last year was just... my teeth were crazy, man. That was some bad teeth pain. Teeth pain's one of the worst pains. Either way. So, thanks for watching, everybody. This is like the first time I've actually streamed an IRL stream, so that's kind of cool. I enjoyed it. I like just chilling out, talking. And then maybe next time, we'll try some different shit. See how it goes. Either way, thanks for watching. If you're new here, click the follow button. Follow along. Be alerted when I go live if Twitch is actually working, which is usually never. But, here's hoping. We got Patreon, we got Crendslot.com, we got Subscribe, we got Tips, we got ChronoGG, we got Amazon, we got bits and gear and stuff. Jinx, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Snej, 100 bits, Night, IRL Nerd. Thank you, Snej. I'm actually going to be uploading my newest Tavern Brawl onto YouTube, if you want to check that out. I played today's Tavern Brawl, and I have to finish putting the title in and all that stuff, so it should be up very shortly. And if you missed the new Cox and Crendor, that went up earlier today as well. It's up on SoundCloud. It's up on YouTube, youtube.com/Cox and Crendor podcast. Episode 154. We've done 154 Cox and Crendor episodes. Mamma mia. Let's see. So let's see. Is there anything else? Anything else? Hold on. Nope, that's it. All right, I'm done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Okay. See ya. I don't even have to wait that long for the stream to end for my SIA to register, because there's only a 2 to 3 second delay now. This is great. Wow.